Hello everybody and welcome to Croatia versus Niger. I've just thrown myself there. Argentina, Iceland. That is not the game we are doing. We are doing Croatia versus Nigeria, and I've lost my thing. So we're live anyway. We're live. I was going to set some stuff up while we're live, which we will do, but it's Croatia versus Nigeria. It's not Argentina versus Iceland, and it didn't finish 0-0. There we go. Magic. Croatia versus Nigeria. So, interesting day. I really enjoyed Argentina, Iceland. What a great point that was. Peru let me down. I mean, Denmark are just not a great team. I just don't think Denmark are a very good team. Do you lot? But Croatia, good result for not good result for them. Good result for Denmark. But Peru, we saw VAR used. I thought it was a good bit of it. But Nigeria's going to win, says Ian Mark. Markic Goldbridge, says Douglas James Horn. Yes, I was Mark Goldbridgeson for the Iceland game. For this one, you could say we're Nigeria, because look at the theme of the colours. But this has always been the that's colour, that's football colour. So, I'm just looking forward to a good game for this one. Louise says, I'm so sad for Peru. They deserve to win. Michael Hubbard's eating fish and chips. I've had a Chinese. And Manchester Skulls 18 says Denmark, not much beyond Ericsson and Delaney, in my opinion. I don't want Denmark to go out that group, to be honest. I think they're going to be very much like Sweden. And I've got nothing against people from Denmark and Sweden at all. I thought Peru were the better team. But having said that, this is the problem with these teams that you predict to be quite good. It's that inexperience, isn't it? Nigeria tonight, can they show some experience? They've been in plenty of World Cups, as of Croatia, and I think tonight is it's very important. You're playing catch up. Peru are going to have to get something against France now and Australia to have any chance of going through. Whereas Denmark beat Australia 6 points, they've probably put themselves through. That's the thing. If you lose your first game, you put yourself in a bad situation. So a very good point for Iceland because they're not playing catch up, but for teams like Australia and Peru and Morocco, they leave themselves with very, very, very big mountains to climb. Mark, Nigeria could cause an upset to get to Croatia, says Pankaj. I've got to be honest with you, Pankaj. I wouldn't even perceive it to be a I wouldn't perceive it to be an upset because Nigeria have played in many a World Cup and they know their stuff. So I'm just going to type out the team news for you for Croatia because I've done Nigeria. Subasic in goal. I was a little bit late. So Subasic in goal. Vesalico. I'm brilliant at names, as people will get to know. Lovren, I know him. Vida. Strinic. Modric. Rakitic. Rebic, Kramaric, Perisic, Mandzukic. And from a Manchester United point of view, there are a couple of players there that are quite interesting. Perisic, who we should have signed last summer, who I think would have been an absolute revelation. And we've got Mandzukic, who is potentially linked to Manchester United this summer. So it's interesting. It is always interesting, and that is why we do it. So I'm looking like I'm up and running, which is great. It's starting to get a little bit darker, so you're going to get shades of Goldbridge tonight because the screen's going to throw it back. Please do like the video, share and subscribe. Let's get as many people watching as possible. It's Saturday night. It's World Cup. I've done the United stand early. Normally 8 o'clock on a Saturday. I had to do it at 7 o'clock. And remember, if you are a United stander, we're pushing it back to 9 o'clock tomorrow night because it's Brazil at 7 o'clock. Itch behind the name is so crazy, says Pankage. What have you put in Super Brew for this game, says Douglas. I'm not telling you. I'll tell you at kickoff. He's put 2-1. You shouldn't tell people before kickoff, Douglas, because people might... I'm going to get up the league table as well. I'm putting up the league table. But let's have a look at the Nigeria team. They should be going across the bottom of the screen now. Uzaho, Eduo, Ekong, Balogun, It's going a bit too slow for me. Shehu, Ndidi, Etebo, John, Obi, Mikhail. Yeah, I could have guessed that one. Igala, Moses, Iwobi. So a few well-known names there for Nigeria, and quite a few names that are well-known for good old Croatia as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this game. Let's see how it goes. My tip, who am I supporting? You know what? For the first time, I wanted Iceland to win at lunchtime. First game, Russia, Saudi Arabia, I wasn't really bothered. I wanted Egypt to get something against Uruguay. So tonight, I'm there to be persuaded. Let's see how each team does. That's what I say. I'm there to be manipulated by the better performing team. I'm a neutral on this one. What about you? Are you neutrals? Are you a neutral like me, or are you going to go for somebody else? Let me know in the live comments. They're just showing clips of 94 at the moment. Croatia for me, says Mad Marcus. Supporting Nigeria for the kit, says Cavan. I was just about to say that. I wonder if people are doing that. Croatia, come on, says Maxim. And Didi had a good season, says Just Sheldon. I've got a bet on Croatia, says XVBM1. Nigeria wins, says Pankaj. I'll tell you what I'd like to see out of this game. I think today we've had the one thing I wanted to see very early on in the tournament. An underdog getting a good result against one of the big teams. So Iceland getting that result today, I think that's a big tick. And it will give a lot of the underdogs some confidence going into this tournament. And next, I want to see a few goals tonight. I want to see a good game tonight. I don't want to see a tight game. I thought Denmark-Peru was a little bit of a tight game. And I want to see a few goals tonight. That's what I want to say. Adikoyu's got Nigeria all the way. Croatia to win the World Cup, says XVBM1. You never know. You never know. And Bryn Holdfolk says, I just want Argentina out of the tournament. The dirty cheats. Of course, remember, I've been speaking about what me and Xander did on purpose today is he did the France game and the Australia game and then the Denmark-Peru game because that's one group. I've done Argentina, Iceland, Nigeria, Croatia because they're all in the same group. So it sort of makes you, the viewer, think, oh, Xander was that group, I was this group. So, yes, though these two teams here, if one of them wins tonight, it puts them in a fantastic position because they know Argentina have dropped 2 points already. So it is a very, 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 very interesting group. Kunal, I agree. I was watching that Peru game. They just can't finish. They can't finish, can they? Kieran says group stage knockout for England. Well, we're not talking about England till Monday. I'm enjoying the World Cup as an Englishman at the moment. Whereas on Monday, I think I will be feeling a little bit more nervous about it. So we'll leave England for now. Teams are about to come out. We're still about 5-7 minutes away from kickoff. So let's see how that goes. Let's make sure we've got this going okay. Croatia versus Nigeria. I think this is the only day as well where they've got the game at 8 o'clock. I think they're normally going to be 7 o'clock. Like tomorrow night, Brazil-Switzerland is at 7 o'clock. So I'm doing that one. For people are saying in the comments what's the viewing schedule tomorrow. So Serbia's tomorrow. I think Serbia are playing Costa Rica. That's at 1 o'clock. I'm doing that. Germany-Mexico at 4 o'clock is Xander. And then 7 o'clock is me for Brazil-Switzerland. And then 9 o'clock is That's Football Sunday night show. So that's the plan. That's how it's going to go. Louise is eating cheese Doritos. And Stian. I've just had an absolute blank here, Stian. Remind me who Ndidi plays for. Because I'm what I'm thinking in my head, I'm not going to repeat because it will make me look an idiot. Who does Ndidi play for? I've had an absolute blank. Nigeria are going to win, says Wolf YouTube channel. What is your league you talk about? Where could I join, says Cavan Beer. I'll get you the link, mate, and I can throw it in. I'll do that for you. People, you can join late. Obviously, it's already been up and running, the Super Brew Predictor, but it is free to play, so you're more than welcome to join in. And there's no reason why you couldn't catch us up. I needed to go on there and check what my picks were anyway for this. They're just doing the national anthems at the moment, and we've got 766 people playing in our league at the moment. 2-1, 1-1, 0-1. I got that wrong. I went Peru 2-1. I got that wrong. Okay, so I know what I've predicted in this game. As long as I know. As long as I know. I'm just messing around a bit here. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Okay, there we go. Right. Ndidi plays for Leicester City. I never would have got that. I just had an absolute brain. I was thinking about... I'll tell you who I was thinking about when I was searching around my mind. I was thinking Everton. That's Idrissa Gueye. That's come to my mind now. I was going to say Ndidi plays for Everton. I thought, don't say it. I'm not 100% right. And I wasn't. But now you've said he plays for Leicester, I now realise who the Everton player I was thinking of. Who plays for Senegal? Salim Hussein says Nigeria for the win. Fair enough. Fair enough. Douglas is excited to see Croatia play. Remember, if you support Manchester United, keep your eye on Mandzukic. We've been linked to him. But also do keep an eye on Perisic, because I was saying last summer Perisic should be brilliant at United. So just keep an eye on what we could have won. Oh, man. Contains order place. I'm nervous for Nigeria now, says David Tapgun. Nigeria have got swag, says Bryn Holdcroft. What beer is that, says Kieran Brook. It should be invisible beer to you lot. That should give it away, really. Let me twist it that way. Eric HT says Croatia could be a dark horse in this competition. I just wonder whether they've got enough up front. Mandzukic, I don't think, is mobile enough. I don't think their team's mobile enough, but we'll see. Ronaldo is the GOAT, Oliver Hall. It is official. Ronaldo is the GOAT. 100%. Yes. He is the GOAT. It's been said. Right, we are literally a couple of minutes away from kickoff, so get involved, have your say. Tell you what, I love asking you all questions, so I'll ask you a question now. How do you feel at the moment in relation to your club football? Because obviously I do the United Stand, and I'm still very much into Manchester United and very much interested in transfers, but I have got World Cup fever as well. Croatia are going to batter Nigeria. Well, it's quite a big split we've got, isn't it, between what some people think are favourites in this game and others. Some people think it's Croatia. Some people think it's Nigeria. Just looking at the teams again there. Igalo. Was he the one who was at Watford? I think he was, wasn't he? Where did he go? Did he go to... Didn't he do something silly like go and play in China? I think he did, you know. I personally don't... I'm not convinced either of these teams can win it, the whole tournament, but I'll tell you what I do like about this is the amount of people can have a drink, though. And the great thing about World Cup as well is the atmosphere in the stadiums, the party atmosphere that we are seeing, which is great. I'm so into the World Cup, says Kieran Brook. Croatia 2-0, says Faison Abbas. Thoughts on VR, says Oliver Hall. I think he's talking about VAR, because VR is virtual reality. But VAR, I'm still not for it, I've got to be honest, because that penalty that was given, I would rather be discussing that sort of afterwards and saying, oh, you know, it could have been a goal. So I would rather it wasn't. But we're about to kick off. Let me get the timer off, and then I'm going to have to sort the lighting out because it's a little bit dark on one side. And we're off. We're off with another game on That's Football. And it's Croatia versus Nigeria. We're having a hoedown. I'll be back. I'm not going anywhere. I just disappeared. Disappeared to turn the light on. Get myself a little bit more of an even lighting. It's an early free kicker for Nigeria here. This could be an opportunity, so it could. Chance to put a cross into the box. You'd expect the Croatians would be quite good at defending this sort of an opportunity, but Victor Moses is on it. It's a nice, decent cross, but it's headed away by the Croatians, and Modric, who is arguably one of the best midfielders in the world at the moment, is old Luka Modric. So, be interesting to see what he can do. But keep your eye out on some of these players tonight. Especially keep your eye on Perisic, who I will tell you now, Ivan Perisic plays for Scotland, but then went to play for Croatia, and he speaks a bit like Sean Connery. I'm messing about. Don't mess about, Goldbridge. Perisic is number 4, so keep your eye out for number 4. Number 4 is Ivan Perisic, and number 17 is Mandzukic. We're going to have a laugh tonight. Berhani predicted 2-2 on Super Brew. I went 2-0 to Croatia, so you know my score now. Nigeria's got really fast players, says Assassin Beso. Marcus, you've just deleted Best Gamer's comment. I think he's just predicting the score, not putting up fake scores. How are things going about Rashford, says Kobe Caxton. Rashford was training today, so I think Marcus Rashford's fine. Marcus Rashford is fine. Bono is fine. And Marcus Rashford is fine. Boom, 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 boom. So, it's a fast start from both teams, which is good to see. A very fast start. Good to see that. Both teams moving the ball around. Nice to see. Nice to see you, nice. They did well to keep that in, the right back. I've lost my stream. There we go. There we go. Back with the best set of YouTube viewers in the world. The That's Football World Cup gang. So yeah, we are going to be live for every single game on That's Football, so get involved, everybody. Please do share the video. If there's a share button underneath, so if you just click share and you're on Twitter and Facebook, you can just click, share the link, and grow the community during this game. We're covering every game. I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to Serbia tomorrow lunchtime. I know it's Sunday and you might be having your roast dinner or something like that, or reading the papers in the sun or walking your dog. But if you're interested in the World Cup, Serbia is a good team to watch tomorrow. I think Serbia, Croatia are quite similar in many senses. They could be real dark horses of this tournament. And obviously, Milinkovic-Savic watch is something that's going to be very interesting as well. So Perisic is, if you're looking at the screen now, Perisic is the one with the number 4 on. Very central, just running into tackle, didn't get the ball, gave a foul away. So I think Perisic is probably main more to the fore. That's Football World Cup, gang. 34,000 subscriber chain. Says Man United is my city. I think we should try and get 35,000 subscribers tonight. That would be a big number for this channel. So please share the video and subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you're new. And hopefully we're going to get a good game tonight. The night game last night, the first night game was bloody brilliant, wasn't it? Spain-Portugal. So I don't know what it is. The night games always seem to be better in the tournaments than the day games. That's something I've spent the last 4 years doing a thesis on. What games are better in the World Cup when in Europe? Are they night or afternoon? I'm absolutely not. I haven't done this, so don't believe me. I'm talking nonsense tonight. But free kick. No, I think when you do look at it, that the nighttime games do tend to be better than the daytime games. A bit like in the Premier League, midday kickoffs rarely are that good. Phil Mitchell says Keane and Bilic are great. Shame they have that plonker Lee. Don't understand books. Dixon on as well. Talking about the pundits. Oh, Roy Keane's the best. Roy Keane is the best. Croatia on top so far, says Louise O'Donoghue. Both teams moving it around quickly. Croatia very physical. And yeah, I'd say their technique's a little bit better. Can't believe... Football fan says, I can't believe 65,000 people aren't watching the World Cup and are watching a stupid press conference. What press conference is that then? Because I'm not even aware of it. Using that for 47. Doesn't even add up. Chrome. Oh, yeah, Brian, I know what you mean, yeah. Another fake fight between YouTubers. I'm just taking you on a tour of our sets here. Okay. Matthew McFadden in the house, apparently. Emperor Helson says, whose first World Cup was Japan-Korea in 2002? It wasn't mine. Mad Marcus's first World Cup was 66, and he remembers it well. Mine's a bit later than that. My first World Cup that I remember is... No, I actually do remember 86 very, very vaguely. I was a very intelligent child, though, so... I literally came out of the womb and remember 86. Now, I do remember 86 ridiculously vaguely, but 90 was the first one I really remember. Croatia on the attack here at the moment. There's a lot. I'll tell you what I've noticed about this game compared to even the Iceland-Argentina game. There's a lot more pace about it. When is that fight anyway? I'm really not interested. My nephew was on about it the other day. 2010, Red Manchester's first World Cup. God. The scary thing is, I'm legitimately old enough to be Xander's dad. I mean, that's just doesn't look right, does it? We look the same age. Alex Rudd says his first World Cup was 90. Carmichael was 90 as well. Nigeria just knocking the ball around the middle at the moment for those who are interested. Mexico 1970, best ever, says Phil Foster. That does, tell you what, the 70 World Cup does look good. When my granddad used to show me videos of that. I think we had Brazil 1970 World Cup. And the thing about that was England were world champions. And I think England, from what I was told, is England probably should have played Brazil in the final. Because, I don't think they would have played Brazil in the final, actually, because it was Brazil-Italy, wasn't it? Who did Germany... I think, didn't Italy knock Germany out in the semi-finals in 70? But anyway, England got knocked out by Germany in the quarterfinals, and I think they were 2-0 up. And because it was hot, they took off Charlton and somebody else. And they made 2 substitutions, and it went to 2-2 in extra time. They basically had the game in the bag, and they took a couple of players off to rest them, and they got knocked out. And it should have. Many people feel it should have been Brazil versus England in the final. 1990 says Thomas Stack. 2010 says Aaron Gawley. What do you think will be our biggest stream of the week? I'm thinking, which game do you think we'll get the most views for? I'm thinking it's either going to be Germany, Mexico tomorrow, or maybe Brazil, Switzerland tomorrow night. Our biggest stream so far is Argentina, Iceland, where we had over 1,000 people watching. So that's the biggest game so far. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because of the timing of the game or whatever. I suppose a lot of it's to do with time zones, isn't it? So, what's the optimum time everybody's up? I think Australia probably is. Everybody's up for that, aren't they? England, Tunisia should probably be the best. Pip Tomlinson, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. You'll see a different stream with that because I am supporting England. But there's people I really do like and respect who will want England to lose in the live comments. So that could be quite interesting. Gavin Joseph, 1986, Lineker hat-trick v Poland. Anthony Muller says Germany, Mexico. Croatia just cleared it here, but Nigeria trying to shoot from distance. 0-0 after 12 minutes. No real clean-cut chance yet, but I think this game has got the potential to have quite a few goals in it because both teams are giving it some. Into the box, Nigeria here. Good block. I'll tell you what though, I thought Iceland defensively were absolutely superb. And, the defensive ability worldwide has definitely dropped off. I think defences aren't that good anymore, and that's been shown by the Premier League. But Iceland today just showed you how, if you're well organised and drilled. It's good play here from Croatia. Feed him in. What are you doing? Oh, they should have scored there. It was well worked. It was Perisic who put it over. He's crap. I told you. I've always said Perisic was crap. It's good work here from down the left-hand side. Don't know who it was. And I think Mandzukic lays it off. And yeah, Mandzukic lays it off for Perisic. And he's not too far, to be honest. It was a good shot. Quite central, but it would have been a well-worked goal if they'd got it right. So Perisic is playing more off the right in this game, the number 4. In what's like a 4-3-3 for Croatia. Just says, I'm from Brazil and England suck. Thanks for that great analysis. Should have scored, says Xander, Vicky, and Perisic. Wish we got him. Proper winger, says Louise O'Donoghue. Hopefully we'll see some why I think we should have got Perisic as well, Louise. Hopefully we'll see him getting down that wing. Neil Ob9 says, no, you bloody haven't, Mark. I don't know what you're saying, no, I haven't too. Mad Marcus says, good layoff by Mandzukic. Yep. Heavily linked to United, Mandzukic. As a backup to Lukaku, Mourinho would love it. Pip says Jose would have had Perisic playing as a left back as understudy to Ashley Young. Ian Turlington says favourite England song of all time, World in Motion or Three Lions. For me, it's got to be the one the Spice Girls did. I forget what it's called. How does it feel to be on top of the world? Now it's for real. We're on top of the world. Ooh, shot from distance there, just wide from Croatia. Kramaric or Kramaric. I don't really like that Spice Girls song. Vindaloo, la la. No, I'd say Three Lions for me, but I do love World in Motion. World in Motion's good, but it takes a while to get to the good bit. We're singing for England. We'll have some of that on Monday. We'll have some of that. Kramaric, is he ex-Leicester City, says Douglas. We'll put that out to the stats in the live comments. Is this the same Kramaric who is ex-Leicester City? I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying this game though. There seems to be, a bit like the Spain-Portugal game, there seems to be a bit more pace to both sides than there was in the previous two games we've seen today. Like Spain and Portugal was a very fast game, and this is a very fast game as well, whereas Iceland and Argentina was quite a slow game. I think this group's going to be brilliant to watch, by the way. Iceland, Argentina, Croatia, Nigeria. It already is. Well, we already know that Argentina and Iceland have drawn, and these two look pretty similar as well. So it could be a great group, this. I think if someone can get a win tonight. Pogba West says, Mark, what manager do you think Belgium needs to win a World Cup? You could say the same for France. I think France, as I call it, and Belgium probably need, I don't know. I mean, is there a great amount of managers out there at the moment? I mean, Mourinho's at United and he's getting a lot of stick. Pep's a very sort and certain manager as well. Do people really want to be managing national teams anymore? I mean, it's great when it's the World Cup, but is Rodney in the live comments? I've just seen him mentioned. Fred Flintstone is all Bonnie Scotland. Scotland was good. I liked the Spice Girls about 20 years ago. Can I do the rap for Barnes? Says Kev Beacon. You've got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you. Defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them. Get round the back. Now catch me if you can, 'cause I'm an England man. And what you're looking at is the master plan. I've forgotten the rest, which is really disappointing. I'll learn the rest for Monday. Oh, I've gone red there. I don't normally do that. Sterling up front, he needs about 50 shots. I'm looking forward to seeing England. Tunisia is probably the most defining game for England because Belgium's going to be a hard game. Panama they should win. But there's a good free kick opportunity here for Croatia. I'm going to answer Andrew's super chat in a minute. Remember, you can leave us a super chat. Oh, no, Keeper's got that. By using the dollar option in the live comments, if you so wish. But Andrew has made a super chat and he says, Mark, what's your worst World Cup memory? Mine is the USA getting screwed versus Germany with 2 horrible calls in the quarterfinals of the 2002 World Cup. My worst World Cup memory is for England is always self-inflicted. England normally go out fighting, and we're very bad. We're very good losers at going, oh, we were so far. My worst memory is Germany in '90 and '96. But at the end of the day, we put ourselves out by missing penalties. I can't really think of an injustice. I mean, people will talk about 2010 with Lampard's shot over the bar, but Germany absolutely hammered us. Absolutely hammered us. So that was just whatever. So yeah, 90. We should have won the World Cup in 90. It should have been an England-Italy final because Italy got knocked out by penalties to Argentina. And England got knocked out by Germany. I think Rashford will do well in the World Cup if he gets an opportunity to play in the World Cup, Sophie. But I think he'll just be like what he is at United, an impact player off the bench. Lee says Maradona's handball 86. Yeah, now that would be, and the older people I know absolutely would say that, but I don't remember it. I remember the World Cup in 86, but I was so young, ridiculous. I wouldn't even be. You wouldn't really feel the injustice, but I think if it had been 3 or 4 years older, I would have remembered that properly like I did 90, and it would have been that. Because watching it back, I'd imagine that if that happened to England now, I'd probably have to stop doing anything because I just would never shut up about it. So that is the biggest injustice in England's World Cup history, definitely. But Nigeria might score here. Very good defending there from Croatia. They're in the box. Cross coming in again. They should get rid of that. End-to-end stuff, this. Interesting thing about that 86 game is that hand of God, and then he scored a fantastic goal, Maradona. But England got back to 2-1. They put a cross in onto the back post. Lineker was just unable to reach it. He got his head on it, but he couldn't get enough on the back post to get it towards the goal. He sort of side-headed it. What he could have done is put his hand there and handballed it in. And it's just, that's the difference, isn't it? Some people would say, well, that's the difference between being moral and not being a cheat. I would say that's the difference between being a winner. You know? Badjo missed a penalty in the final, Jack, in 94. Do 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 do. Croatia on the attack. How do you react to a 16 million tax bill? Bang a hat-trick in against the country you owe it to, says Dylan Lee. I know. Brilliant. 25 minutes gone then. Still a very quick pace to the game. I think when a game's quick like this, though, you want a goal in it because both teams are sort of having a go. But if it carries on like this for another half an hour or so, they'll both start to get into the scared to lose thing. And this is the sort of game where you do need an early goal in it. Kalina, I think, is in charge of the referees. But I've been impressed by both sides so far. They're sort of cancelling each other out. And this is what I've been talking about, though. It's the gap between teams is definitely closing. I still think we probably will have a World Cup where the status quo, one of the status quo, your Germanys or your Brazils win it. But I do feel that the gap is closing in world football in my lifetime. When I think back at the amount of World Cups I've watched, then you always want the Africans to do well or some of the lesser European teams to do well. But I think the gap is definitely closing. Better managers. A lot of these teams have foreign coaches now, which I think brings in look at Iran with Carlos Queiroz last night. Brings in a discipline and a tactical nous. Jean Chris says that both teams are playing cautiously. It just needs a goal. "26 minutes gone." You got to. A shot from distance for Croatia there. Where do I stand on Golovin, says Cavan? I think we need to see him against better opposition. Mandzukic crosses it and Nigeria clear it. Tyrone saying the World Cup's been brilliant so far. It has. We've got to be a little bit careful. I remember in Brazil it was the same. It started off really, really well. And then you hit the knockout stage and people start to get really nervy and close shop a bit. Apart from Germany-Brazil, which was just amazing, wasn't it? Andrew Ellis says he's looking forward to watching Japan play and my team Brazil tomorrow. Yeah, I'm doing Brazil Switzerland tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. George Kyle says, remember who said this would be 0-0. You know what, George? There's a part of me starting to think this might be a draw simply because Argentina and Iceland was a draw, and it's meant to be the group of death, isn't it? So if they've all drawn their first game, it's like it becomes even more nervy. Yeah, Group D and Group H are the ones, Flipper. They're brilliant for the neutral. Group H is Senegal, Colombia, Japan and Poland. That's going to be a really good group. And this one is a good group. I mean, to be fair, when you look at the balance of the groups, and I mean, we've probably had arguably two of the lesser games already. Iran, Morocco and Russia, Saudi Arabia. There's not many other games that are going to be sort of like that. And it's a strong tournament. It is strong. And when you think about, there's no Chile, there's no America, there's no Italy, there's no Holland, to name just but a few, it just shows you. It's going to be a yellow card here. Rakitic. A little bit late on Victor Moses. Let's watch it back. Yeah, he deserves a yellow card for that. Put all his weight onto him, stamped on his foot. That probably hurts. Yeah, Tunisia-Panama just showed. And the thing about Tunisia-Panama, though, is that's the third group game. So it kicks off at the same time as England-Belgium. So you just don't watch Tunisia-Panama. You can have it on a second screen if you want, but you just don't watch it. That's my tip. Croatia on the attack. Mandzukic lays it off. Oof, I thought he connected that quite well. And well blocked by the Nigerian. It will go for a corner. I'll tell you what, Mandzukic, you can sort of see his layoff play is quite good as a number 9. The trouble is for Juventus, he plays more. I think why I don't like him is because Juventus, he plays more of a sort of a left wing position. So as a target man, he works quite well. Anyway, they've got a corner here with Modric, who shakes his hand at somebody. Yes! We've got a goal! Croatia! I think it was a bit of a lucky goal. Flicked on at the front post. And I'm trying to think, it's Rebic, I think, who might have scored it. They're all having a big hug. It's hard to tell. Cross comes in from Modric. Gets a flick on at the front post, and then at the back post, somebody throws a foot at it, and I think it goes in off a Nigerian. Let's watch this back. Let's watch it back. Let's watch it back. It looks like it might go in off, I think it's in Diddy by the looks of it. Cross from Modric. Flicked on. Yeah, it's gone in off Etobu, sorry. It's a diving header that's going wide from Mandzukic. Flicked on, Mandzukic heads it, it's going well wide, and then it hits in between the legs of Etobu and goes in. Bit of a lucky goal for Croatia, but the game needed a goal. Unlucky for Nigeria, but the game did need a goal. Definitely did need a goal. So 1-0, half an hour gone. Game on. Bit lucky, but it's an own goal. Wayne D and Alex Dukas, you're right. So cross from Modric, flicked on at the front post. Mandzukic dives to head it in, but it's going wide. And as it's going wide, hits between the legs. But Nigeria on the attack here. Good block from a shot in the box. I think this game's going to kick on a bit now. Red Manchester said even I could have saved that. Let down of the first goal, says Jack. Yeah, I think I initially thought it was a better goal than it was. I made a Dre. A distance-related error. It was an own goal. Perisic is missing, says Anthony Martial. He is playing. He's been a bit quiet. The interesting thing about Perisic, though, is everyone was like, "Oh, he's going to play where Anthony Martial plays and Rashford plays on the left." He plays on the right a lot as well. He's ambidextrous with his feet. He's both-footed. Oh, scoreboard, you're right. I never would have remembered that, Kieran Brook. Well remembered, lad. Boom, 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 boom. 1-0. Good tackle there. Croatia looking to get on the attack. There's a few tasty tackles going in. I tell you what, the quality... England are an embarrassment, aren't they, not having any referees here? Because I think some of the referees have been really bad. Really bad. Don't know about you lot. "36 minutes. I never knew Clattenburg was a Geordie, says Emperor. Boring game. Tomorrow's games will be more fun, says Anthony Marcy. I think people... Well, it's all about opinion, isn't it? I've not found this game boring at all. I think you've got a goal. I think it's been a lot quicker than the other two games today. And it's stretched here if he gets this right. Number 2 is down the right-hand side. There's a lot of pace in this game. That's a rubbish cross. They were on the break. That'll go for a throw-in. Versalico. Crap cross. Brozovic plays for Inter Milan. He's a good midfielder. Kovacic plays for Real Madrid. He's a good midfielder. They're both on the bench for Croatia. I thought both of those would play. Players of note on the Nigerian bench. Iheanacho, remember him from the old Man City days? Mussa's not bad. But yeah, that's quite surprising. Brozovic and Kovacic are very, very good players, but they've got Rakitic, Modric. So, it's a bit like Argentina, isn't it? Croatia have got a lot of good midfielders. They're having a lot of joy down the right-hand side, though, Croatia. With Veselko. Brozovic started for Croatia at Anfield and was very good. Surprised he's not starting, says Douglas. Itchy and scratchy, says football fan. Ragul says Croatia is super underrated. Perisic has gone out to the... No, he's not. It's not Perisic. I thought it was. Rakitic. Crossed. Ooh! Just over the bar from Kramaric. It was sort of a bending cross towards the penalty box. Oof, flicked it just over the bar. They've definitely had the better chances, Croatia, and they look a little bit more likely to get the second goal at the moment. I thought Peru were unlucky, Louise, as well. Keeper would have been in... If he'd got the height right on this, the keeper was in all sorts of problems. Cheers, Funky Fruities. Who does Kramerich play for then, Tyrone? He has looked quite impressive. Please do share the video, everybody, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We're doing every single game as a watch along on That's Football. So, just watching the goal back there, it was a bit lucky. But yeah, let's see if we can get up to nearly 1,000 people watching. Drop a share on the share button, share it on Twitter and Facebook. That'd be great. And subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 35,000 tonight, which might be a bit of a push, but you never know. We might be able to pull some people in. Plays for Hoffenheim, says the Red Flame, and Manchester United is my city. Daniel Rowland says that Peru were a little bit nervous in front of goal. I mean, they're not. Peru aren't definitely out. I think they probably are. They could beat Australia, but they're going to have to get something out of France because 3 points isn't normally enough to get you in the top 2 positions. Cavan says Nigeria would win if they changed their jersey. 5 minutes to half time, 1-0 to Croatia. Shubnam says that Argentina won't win the World Cup. No, I don't agree. I don't think they will either. Defensively, they're not very good. And their midfield's not that good either. Croatia right back is good, says Matthew Dean. He's getting back and forward a lot. Who does he play for? I haven't seen a left back that have... We haven't even seen half the teams yet, though, have we? When's the half-point stage? Tomorrow? Kramaric is Hoffenheim. Mandzukic is nowhere to be seen. Well, he's playing up front, isn't he? Elliot Hobday's just started on Facebook and Twitter. This could be a goal. Headed down. Here is the right back. Rubbish. We've all given him the voodoo there. He had an overlap and shoots from the edge of the box. Perisic there with the header back. That's the other thing about Perisic as well. He's well over 6 foot. Messi was very disappointing, wasn't he, for all you Messi lovers? I don't dislike Messi. I just prefer Ronaldo. But he had at least 3 free kicks that I remember from decent opportunities. He had the penalty. He had a couple of shots. I mean, he had enough chances to score today, really. And put him in a Barcelona shirt, he would have had a hat-trick today. I think Nigeria need half time. They started off really well, but since the goal's gone in, they seem to have lost themselves a little bit. ANFC says Mourinho would love the Croatians. They are tall, physical and fast. Which is true, he would. But this is why I think that the Serbia game tomorrow is going to be very, very interesting because they they're not different. Well, it's the same region, isn't it? Croatia and Serbia used to all be the part of the same country, Yugoslavia. So it's the same sort of mentality, I suppose, and physique and style. And I think Serbia tomorrow will be very interesting. If you think about that, like, obviously the war that went on in that region was horrific, but you think about the former Yugoslavia, which unless my history and geography is wrong, you've got Serbia, Croatia and Bosnia were all part of that region. Imagine if that was all one team now. Bosnia's got Dzeko. Oh, shot from Nigeria, well blocked. And then combined Serbia and Croatia. What a team. I thought the Egypt keeper played very well, yeah. That's a big game on Wednesday night, Tuesday night. Russia, Egypt. Egypt are going to have to win that. If Russia get a point, Egypt are going home. I just don't know why I didn't play Salah. Bring him on. Man United says, would you still take Perisic? I think he's 29 now, so... Who's going to keep that ball? Kobe says, is Modric a better midfielder than Pogba? Oh yeah, definitely. He's won 3 Champions Leagues. Funky Fruity says Neymar's going to win this World Cup. Half time. 1-0 to Croatia. Nigeria having a cuddle on the halfway line. Modric is way better than Pogba, says George Kyle. When am I going to show the Super Brew leaderboard, says the Red Flame. I'll do it for you in a minute, mate. Nigeria are going to lose, says Pankaj. And Bale or Milinkovic-Savic, says Cavan. I'd take Savic because he's a midfielder. Neymar will finally step out of Messi's shadow and boss World Cup 2018. He's at it again, Funky Fruities. Sally Devil can't stand the thought of Fellaini being a World Cup winner. And United should have got Modric, says Richard. He's got 4 Champions Leagues, Mark, says Alex. So, decent half. I've quite enjoyed it. I think it's been... I don't agree with people who say it's not been a great half. I think it's been quite an open game. They're not cagey. They're both trying to attack. And hopefully we'll see a couple more goals in the second half. Salah will play the next game, says Emperor Halisons. And Mark... Who do you think will win the Champions League next season, says SSA. Don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? Because they haven't got Zidane at Real Madrid anymore. Ronaldo's going to get the golden boot, says Chris Windle. He's got 3, but Diego Costa's got 2. They're both now going to play Iran and Morocco. There could be plenty of goals there, so Costa could push him for it. A lot of people bigging up Neymar. Looking forward to that Brazil game tomorrow night. I take it you'll all be watching it and watching it with us. So get involved. Modric flopped under Mourinho, says PS4. Messi to win the Ballon d'Or, says Red Manchester. He'll have to do a little bit better in the next few games. How far can Egypt go, says Ramez. They've got to beat Russia on Tuesday night and then see where they go from there. 4 Champions Leagues ain't bad, says Ryan Goodwin. Can we still wait till the final minute before judging the team, says David Tapgun. Least he could score in a World Cup, as he will not be able to score any in the Premier League next season, being relegated and all, says Minnie Warner. I don't think Real Madrid will win the Champions League without Zidane, says S. Hussein. Does Fred start for Brazil, says Sophie. He's not even fit to play tomorrow, Sophie. He's going to be back for the Friday game, but he's not a starter anyway. He's a squad player, so. Do I expect any unexpected team to go into the knockout stage, says Rahul. Yeah, I think there'll definitely be a couple. There'll definitely be a couple in there. Modric is a classy midfielder, says Louise. How good of a player do you think Rashford can be in the future, says S. Hussein. What do you make of Peru's performance today, says Snehith. I personally thought Peru were going to be a sort of one of the teams of the tournament, really, and they still can be. I mean, just because you lose your first game doesn't mean you're out, but they're going to have to get something against France, and they're going to have to learn how to finish. And they were bad today. I mean, the penalty was a massive opportunity for them, and Denmark just did what a sort of Mourinho team does, really. They hung in there, they waited for their chance, and they took that chance. But I predicted Peru to get out of the group with France, and I don't know now. I don't know. Can Germany win the World Cup, says Shubnam? Yes, they definitely can. And the games on Wednesday aren't that exciting, says I am Jonesy. Do you think Peru will still make it through? You got me thinking, Jonesy. You got me thinking. Wednesday, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Portugal, Morocco, Iran, Spain. Portugal, Morocco will be good at 1 o'clock. Uruguay, Saudi Arabia should be straightforward for Uruguay. Iran, Spain. You'd think Spain will win that, to be fair. So yeah. Wednesday could be a bit of a dull day, but we've got lots of good days before then. Lots of good days before then, so we have. France were really poor too. Navas was great in the final. France will bottle it. If Pogba has a good World Cup, would you be optimistic about his form, says Brian Startsell. He needs to get some consistency, Brian. That's what he needs to do. Keep an eye on Lindelof for Sweden, says Ian Turlington. England are playing on Monday night at UK time 7 PM, Baron Death, and we are playing Tunisia. Pogba has looked rusty in the last few games. Not bad, but a few misplaced passes. Has anyone ever heard of a stadium sinking? It's built on a swamp like this one, says Mina Morna. France and Belgium both have brilliant individuals under poor managers. I agree with that, Spruvs. Brazil and Germany is a boring final. I want some other. So DJG125. Could Argentina possibly get knocked out in the group stage? Well, this is Argentina's group, isn't it? Nigeria, Croatia, and obviously they've drawn with Iceland already. Of course they could get knocked out. Of course they could. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So I don't know what they're talking about now. Navas is overrated compared to De Gea, says Ushashan. And James Rodriguez to United, says Ant Walton. I wish it was true. I would absolutely love him at Manchester United. And Palace says, aren't you sleepy? No, only 45 more minutes, then I'll get a rest. Who's your shot in the dark team, says Mace Face. Well, I haven't seen everybody yet. So I would say that probably... I still think Colombia and Mexico could do well again. Mexico-Germany tomorrow is a big game. Looking forward to that. Argentina's overrated, says Fesk. I didn't expect Argentina to do anything. I didn't expect them to do anything anyway. And I don't think they will. Remember to subscribe if you're new. Does anyone actually think that we're not going to be able to do this? I've had a few people saying it's going to be a hell of a task to watch every single World Cup game as a watch-along. I think we can do it. So subscribe to the channel, get involved, and make sure you join us for as many of them as you can. At the end of the day, it only happens every 4 years. It's the biggest tournament in football. And we want to watch every single one. And we want to build a community around watching those games. So if you're thinking of watching some games over the World Cup, or all of the games, or some of the games, make sure you have it on one screen. And make sure you've got us on the other screen. And interact with... And what I haven't asked everybody is, where are you watching from tonight? Just let's see who's not watching because they're in bed. Let us know where you're watching from and what time it is. I'm intrigued by this, what time it is. Because at 1 o'clock for the Argentina game... We had nearly double people watching to what we've got now. But Saturday night, I suppose people might be out UK-wise. But where are you watching and what time it is? Sophie's still really disappointed that Ireland didn't make it to the World Cup. Our fans are amazing. I thought they were going to get there at one point. I really did. Ian thinks he'll be able to watch or listen to 90% of the watch-alongs. I've had one beer, Tracy Jordan. I'm going to get another one in a minute. In Ireland, it's 3 minutes to 9. Same as here. 1:42 a.m. for Spruffs. 2 a.m. for Sneth in Ireland. In India. Mutala is watching from Nigeria. Go on, Nigeria. There we go. We've got somebody who's actually from one of the countries we're watching. So we'll keep an eye out for you, Mutala. Hopefully you can get a goal back into this. Polska, says Oscar Lard. Dubai, and it's 12 a.m, says Me Davies. It's 12:55 a.m. in India for Rahul. South Africa, it's 10 o'clock at night. 9 p.m, says Cameron Hatwell. We've got Brooklyn, where it's 3:58 p.m, says David Lloyd. Brazil, it's just coming up for 5 o'clock, says Arthur. Brazil, I hope you're watching tomorrow night, Arthur. We'll all be watching Brazil. Austria, it's 10 o'clock. 2:58, says Tam. Coming up for 10 o'clock in Norway. 3 p.m. in New Jersey, says Total Troll Gaming. 1:30 a.m. in India. 2 a.m. in Bangladesh. And Mad Marcus got a timeout. You know, I timed him out by accident. I just had to text him and say sorry. Mad Marcus, the chipper. Sometimes keeping Mad Marcus quiet for a couple of minutes isn't a bad idea anyway. Any World Cup players stand out for Manchester United to buy, says Danny Kirsch. I think you've got to be very, very careful of that, Danny. 3 p.m. in Peru, says Chris Windle. Oh, Chris, I bet you're gutted, mate. I wanted you to win. 2 games to do it. Sly Ninja Gaming says he's 42nd in our Super Brew League. I did say I would show that, so let me just do it. Let's get it up. I've gone 2-0 in this game, by the way, so I'm halfway there to Croatia. That was my prediction. So, if I can do this right, let's have a look. Add source, screen capture. Come on. So you've got our leaderboard at the moment is Nurmayal 1804 is top with 7 points, as is J7, Delvoy, Pravin Borka, and Iwad A. You are the top players at the moment with 7 points, and I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am. But you're the top players with 7 points. I think I've got 4. So it's all to play for. It's all to play for at the end of the day. We'll come back to that a little bit more when I'm doing better. That's what I think. I think that's fair to say. Yes, I agree. I agree. Right. Anthony Martial says he's finding it a little bit boring because Nigeria aren't offering any threat, and I don't know how you find this fun to watch. And DJJ says Argentina will be out. Messi feels the pressure because of Ronaldo and will bottle it. Ben Casey thinks it will be 2-1 full time, and I said 2-0, says Anthony Martial. I want a country that's not from Europe or South America to win it, says Jay Hart. It's a bit of a push to do that. Mexico technically is North America, isn't it? So there you go. That might be a good shout. Glad Bittersweet Symphony still played before England matches. Loved collecting the World Cup match attacks when I was a kid, says Kingdom FX. And what's my dream final? Colombia, Mexico. I think Messi feels the pressure because of Maradona, not Ronaldo, says Daniel Rowland. Interesting points. Interesting. Anyone playing Fantasy World Cup football, says Palash. And Nigeria are going to bounce back, says Lucas Johnson. Well, the kickoff for the second half is about to take place. And it'd be nice to see a team that has never won the World Cup before do it if England don't do it. And they won't. Let's be realistic. How far do I think Polska will go, Oscar lad? I don't know. I think Poland are going to. I think that group's going to be a really interesting one to watch. Really interesting. Senegal, Colombia, Poland, Japan. I want Senegal to do as well as well. I mean, somebody's going to go home from that group that I don't want to go home. It's a bit like this group, really. Nigeria, Croatia, Iceland, and Argentina have got to be favourites to go through, haven't they? Despite their performance today, it's a shame 2 of those teams will have to go home, really, but. Such is the life, such is the way it goes. Anyway, we're off with the second half. 45 minutes for Nigeria to try and get something out of this game. Dun, 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 dun. I've got a theory anyway for you, which I'm just going to leave you for a moment. I've got a really interesting theory to throw at you. I'll be back in about 10 seconds because I'm literally just going to the fridge, which isn't that far away. Although it's in a different room, it's not far away. So I'm back with another one of them rocking beats. So I am. I'm wondering if I'm trying to figure out how we had 1,000 people watching for Argentina, Iceland. And we've only got 570 people watching for the night game of Croatia-Nigeria. Do you think people are getting a bit burnt out by the World Cup? They've had that initial burn of watching games, and now they're like, oh, I can't keep up. I can't do Croatia-Nigeria. I've done 3 games today already. Lightweights. Decent cross coming in there for Nigeria, and I don't know whether it's a goes for a corner again. I think the defender might have got something on it there. Ian Turlington says today has been tiring. Another corner for Nigeria. They've had a couple of corners here. Mandzukic put it out for a goal kick. Mark Atherton says no notifications. I don't know what's going on with YouTube and notifications at the moment. I really do not know what's going on with it. All I would say is what I keep saying with That's Football is that we are live for every single watch. We're live for every single World Cup game, so you know where to find us if you enjoy it. Tyrone says some men get too much flack from their women, so maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah. Keith McCauley makes a good point. Has Ronaldo's game spoiled the World Cup too early? It was so good. It was sensational, to be fair. That Spain-Portugal game was absolutely sensational. For a first group game, you know, people want to feel their way into the tournament. I'll tell you what, I'd like Portugal to win the World Cup. And I do think Ronaldo's got a team around him that's better than it probably has ever been. I know they won the Euros, but Nigeria have started on the front, good on the front foot here. Chris didn't get a notification either. I don't know what's going on with YouTube and notifications at the moment. I don't know whether it's because we're doing so many live streams that it's not sending them out. But look, we're live every single game on the World Cup. So I think at the end of the day, what we need to do is sort of build a World Cup watch-along community and just keep spreading the word and then dropping it into your head that no matter what, That's Football will be live for every game with a watch-along. So don't wait on your notifications. Get yourself down here and just get watching. Serbia tomorrow, 1 o'clock, is our first watch-along, and that's me for that. And then there's 3 good games tomorrow. They get sort of better and better. You've got Germany, Mexico at 4 o'clock, and then Brazil versus Switzerland. Who I've been told, and I don't know whether someone's pulling my leg, so I'm just going to check this. Just going to check this out. Yeah, it's a load of rubbish. Oh no, it's true. Switzerland are number 6 in the FIFA rankings. Germany number 1, Brazil 2, Belgium 3, Portugal 4, Argentina 5, Switzerland are 6th ahead of France. Peru are 11th, Denmark 12th, England joint 12th. Uruguay, Mexico. So Switzerland are FIFA ranked 6 in the world. So Brazil, Switzerland tomorrow should actually be, you know, Switzerland should be a decent team apparently. So that's going to be the good game tomorrow, I reckon. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're closing in on 35,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can do it. Share the video, share it, click share and share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook and subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're doing every World Cup game on That's Football as a watch along with you lot, making the show what it is. And I still remember the Swiss kit falling apart in the last World Cup, says Jay Hart. Nigeria are pushing here at the moment. They've started it very, very well. But, oh, he's in. Blocked again. George Kyle and his many blocks. There are a lot of blocks in this tournament. And they've got a free kick. Phil Foster says Switzerland play good football. They're well balanced. The rankings don't make any sense, Flipper says. So Brazil-Switzerland could be a very interesting game tomorrow. Let's see. Iwobi's got so much potential, says Tyrone Williams. I think, going back to what somebody said at half time, is there any players that I've seen in the World Cup so far that I think would be a good signing for United? Well, there's one, Cristiano Ronaldo, but I've got to stick by what I said. I think Jesse Lingard's going to have a good World Cup. And I've also said that anybody who starts seeing people in the World Cup and thinks they should sign for their club, take a big look through history at players who've been bought from having good World Cups, who then domestically aren't that good. The World Cup standard is, I still believe, it's Championship. It's not Premier League, because these players are just thrown together. There's no cohesion. There's no working together for weeks and weeks, playing games, 2 games a week for months and months. It's throw people together and see how you get on. And the standard's not that good. There's, every country, some countries have got an abundance of talent, like your Germany and your France. But most countries, they'll have 3 or 4 or 5 good players, and they'll have 4 or 5 not so good players. That if any of these countries played in the Premier League, they get battered. So somebody who plays well in a World Cup doesn't mean that they'd be very good for Manchester United, I don't think. That's just my opinion. I mean, as Tyrone says there, Iwobi's got talent. Al Neni played well for Egypt yesterday, but is he a Premier League player? George Kyle's right. Let's throw some examples. Cleberson's a good example. The 94 World Cup was the worst one, where people just went and got loads of World Cup players. And that's where it all started, really. But Everton got Amakachi, didn't they? He was crap, Nigeria, but did well in the World Cup in 94. Cleberson has been mentioned. The 2 Senegal lads that Liverpool got, was it Diouf? The Moroccan, Hadji, went to Coventry. All good players in World Cups. That Poborski, United got him. He was crap. Did well not in the World Cup. It was the Euros, that was. So it just doesn't transpire. I think Jemba was World Cup as well, wasn't he? Croatia on the attack here anyway. Modric tackled. Please keep sharing the video, everybody. Bottom underneath the video, just click share it onto Twitter and Facebook. Let's see if we can get some newbies in. And if you are new, get involved in the live comments and get the actions go. Toto Scalacci says Funky Fruities. Yep, 1990. James Rodriguez says Matthew did well. Yeah, yes and no. It was a great chance. If he's onside here, good cross. And he missed it on the volley. And he was onside as well. He was onside. Badelch. No, it wasn't Badelch. It was Rebic. Number 18. I thought I read the wrong number there. It was a brilliant cross by Perisic, who's gone to the left-hand side this half. He was down the right first half. Must just like this side of the pitch. Brilliant cross by Perisic. Ding, 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 ding. Perisic has been quite quiet, really, but he's just put in a worldy cross. He's got a lovely cross on him. But Perisic was never... the thing about Perisic, he was never going to be coming to Manchester United and playing like Gareth Bale. He's a hard-working grafter who's tall, fast, and good off both feet and can cross. That's the brilliance of Perisic. He was never going to be like a Gareth Bale. He was perfect Mourinho signing, like somebody said in the first half. Mourinho would like a lot of these Croatian players because they're tall, fast, and graft. And that's what Perisic would do. You just get up and down, up and down, up and down, off both sides. Play whichever side you wanted him. Put a decent cross in. Brilliant. I really wanted Manchester United to get him. Excuse me, shouldn't do that live. She was only 19 years old, Samuel Roos. She was only 19 years old. Bit of Michael Caine there. Scotch, bit of Sean Connery. Oh, yes. A crap cross there by Victor Moses. That went from Scottish to a bit of Northern Irish. Speech impediment. Hello, I'm Sean Connery. And that was a rubbish cross from Victor Moses. I can't do Victor Moses, Sean Connery. Oh, I just can't do it. Bale is staying in Madrid, says Kobe. I don't think he will. I don't think him and Ronaldo will stay. One of them's going to go. And I think Real Madrid, as I said on the United stand tonight, would be bloody stupid. Whatever Ronaldo wants in money, why would you not give it to him? I think the issue with Ronaldo is he wants a certain amount on his new contract because he knows probably Messi or Neymar are getting that. Ronaldo should be on more than anybody, and Real Madrid should pay him that money. He more than deserves it. And they'd be stupid to let him go. Tam Trainer's probably right. People probably are watching Love Island instead of watching this. Pogba Westmark has to pick you, mate. Pogba Westmark has to pick you. Has Bale made a statement then? He always wants to stay in Spain. That's where he wants to stay. He's only thinking about going because he wasn't getting picked. Can you do Conor McGregor? What's the story? What's the story? I can do Dublin a little bit. What's the story? Kieran Brook. Love Island isn't even on because this is on ITV. Go on then. Serbia tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Germany, Mexico at 4 o'clock. Brazil at 7 o'clock. How many of the games are you watching? Which ones are you watching? Obviously, I'm doing all three. There's a Love Island debate going on there now because Tam Trainer says Love Island is on tonight. And Pankaj says, which channel is Love Island on tonight? Carl Watkins says the One Football app says he's staying at Real Madrid. Yeah, but I don't use the One Football app anymore. I used to use it, but I keep seeing people putting stuff saying, look, One Football app says this. But I don't think they're that... They might be like the Sun, you know. Dalraj is watching all three. Bryn's watching all three. Love Island is for losers, says Sam House. Croatia on the attack here. Right hand side. Second goal and this is over. Nigeria clear. Still Croatia on the attack. It's a shame Chile aren't at the World Cup, says Danny. Yeah, they would have been one of the sort of teams I'd like to win it. I mean, why are Chile not at the World Cup? Because they're not good enough. Daniel's watching all three. Carl, I know I just don't use apps anymore. They get on my bloody nerves. Like, with all the updates. So and Arthur's probably right. I think with that app, our website used to go on there as well. So I think they just pull in from different websites. They're not really endorsing them. They're just pulling into their feed. I know where to get news from anyway, so I don't use apps anymore, because why should you be dictated to by an app that just puts what it wants to put on there, when you can go to certain places and get every single news outlet and decide yourself what's good and what's bad, which is why the United Stand Football Daily is so good, because we get our information from all over the world. It's a certain website that I use. A lot of people watching all 3 games tomorrow. I hope you're going to be on the watch along for it. I mean, the watch along works well, doesn't it? You're only doing what I'm doing, watching the game and also interacting with you on the live comments. Another cross there, another corner. Croatia get the second. This is over. Kieran Brooks still arguing that Love Island isn't on Saturdays. Can somebody clarify if Love Island's on or not, because life's too short. I'll tell you why I'm looking forward to cross comes in, header goes over the bar, Mandzukic. I'm looking forward to seeing Serbia tomorrow, because I think they've got the potential to be. I mean, I've predicted that Serbia will probably end up playing Germany in the first knockout stage, and I think Serbia might knock Germany out. So it's an interesting game tomorrow to see how good Serbia actually are. Obviously, Milinkovic-Savic plays for them. Matic plays for them. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Serbia tomorrow at 1. And then Germany-Mexico's a brilliant game. I love Mexico. And Germany, one of the favourites. And then Brazil. Brazil is it's the team you think about when it comes to the World Cup. And I'm intrigued to see how good this Switzerland team is. So I'm looking forward to the games tomorrow. There's some cracking 1 o'clock games next week. I don't know. I presume a lot of you probably have work, so I don't want to rub it in. But I'm taking extended lunch breaks. And it's funny, my nephew was telling me yesterday at his school they were allowed to have a long lunch break to watch the 1 o'clock game, Uruguay. I was like, well, it's not even England. He says, oh, no, I think my teacher just likes football. So, but he bloody does. I wonder education's going downhill. Monday, it's Sweden, South Korea at 1 o'clock. So that'll be Lindelof. Tuesday, it's Colombia, Japan at 1 o'clock. Can't wait for that one. Wednesday, Portugal, Morocco at 1 o'clock. That'll be good. Thursday, it's Denmark, Australia. Australia need to win that one, really. France, Peru at 4 o'clock on Thursday. Friday, it's Brazil, Costa Rica at 1 o'clock. And Nigeria, Iceland at 4. Saturday, Belgium, Tunisia. Sunday, England, Panama at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. It's an interesting one, isn't it? I think England's games are all 7 o'clock. Yeah, apart from that one. So, yeah. We're looking good. We're looking good. The World Cup's in motion. We've suddenly just had a massive jump in people watching for some reason. So if you are new, please do subscribe to the channel. We've just jumped up by 300 people, which is interesting. I've got no idea why that's happened. But if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're doing every single World Cup as a watch along. Are South Korea in this World Cup, says Andrew Ellis. They are. I'm convinced they are. They are. They are. I believe it. So it must be true. They are in Group F with Germany, Mexico and Sweden. South Korea. Yeah. Son from Spurs. I don't know much about South Korea, so that's going to be an interesting game. And I don't think Sweden are very good. Correct me if I'm wrong. They weren't very good in the Euros, even though they had Zlatan. So, what is the website you get all your transfer news on for Manchester United, says Joseph Robson. If I told you that, mate, to be fair, I get it from quite a lot. So we've got 25 minutes left to go in this game. It's still 1-0 to Croatia. In balance of play, do you think it should be a draw so far. I think Nigeria just not been good enough in the final third. Croatia have probably had the better chances, but apart from that, I think they've been quite evenly matched. Cavan, Italy should be here. I don't know how Italy are not here, but they should be here. Remember to share. If you've just joined us, please do share the video. Click below, Facebook and Twitter and all that jazz. Share it. Let's see if we can get over 1,000 people watching. 25 minutes left of this game. Moses should get lessons from Dele Alli, says Carl Watkins. Andrew Ellis says Twitter from Damartio. Let's have a quick look. He's not done anything for a while, Damartio, has he? Can't see anything from him at all. Grayson White says, is this the group of death? I think it's either this one, or this is obviously Croatia and Nigeria and Iceland and Argentina. So it is going to be an interesting group. But I do think that Group H is very interesting as well. Colombia, Poland, Japan and Senegal. Ian Mark says, Nigeria just don't have a world-class striker. Goals win prizes, don't they? That is the thing. You've got to score goals to win games. Rants is going to be on a lot more, Tyrone. They're going to do that weekly, Rants and Flex. Would I trade Darmian for Mandzukic? I'd trade Darmian for a new fridge, to be fair. Here's Perisic down the left again, on his left foot this time, and he's got a corner. David Perskolov says, do you think Manchester United could get Ronaldo? I think United would like to get Ronaldo. Damartio is very reliable, says Cavan, but I don't know what the news is from Damartio. I've just checked his Twitter. Keep an eye on Son. Cross come from Croatia, Nigeria. Is he given a penalty? No. Oh, I don't know. He's given a penalty. He's given a penalty, yeah? Obi Mikel's not happy. He's all over him. Number 5 for Nigeria. He's basically got Mandzukic like that as he jumps and the referee's looking right at it. You can see why it's a penalty, but Chris Smalling would give 3 penalties away a week if referees did that. It's a foul. It is a foul. It is a penalty, but it's very, very harsh. Yeah, very harsh. Penalty. I've got 2-0 on Super Brew, though, so this could be good for me. 2-0 incoming, says Jay the Red Devil. Ekong was the one who did it. He is all over Mandzukic. And you know what? Referees in the World Cup. You're going to get referees from all over the world. And you never know how they interpret things. You never know how they interpret things. So, Nigeria, it's Modric to take it. A little bit soft, yes. We're getting a lot of penalties, Daniel Rowland says. It is a penalty, says Mad Max. Let us know, do you think it was a penalty? Speedy Matter is from Croatia. Very soft, says Ian Mark. Faison says, I told you 2-0. Modric will miss, says Ian Mark. Kobe's not happy, says Garbage. Modric has scored, and Mad Marcus said 2-0 with Modric to score. 2-0, Modric from a penalty. You'd worry about Nigeria getting back into this game anyway. You'd certainly worry about them getting back into it with the lack of striking options that they have. So 2-0 to Croatia. which was my prediction for Super Brew. So if it stays like this, it's quite a good score for me. But there's still time. Still 20 minutes left. Game over, says Ravens Claude. I don't know. Nigeria have been good in this game. They've just not really done anything in the final third. Good penalty, though. Keeper's gone the wrong way. Solomon Mike says putting someone in a reverse bear hug is soft. Look, Ben France has got it right. He says it's a penalty, but it's very harsh. I think, look, when you look at it, he's grabbed him like that. It's a penalty. What I'm saying is, I think that's soft because in the Premier League, that's probably not given. You watch Chris Smalling when he plays for United. He's grabbing the shirt, he's grabbing the player, and very rarely is a penalty given. If a penalty is given, and they show it back, and he's grabbing the shirt, you'd say it's a penalty, but everybody's doing it. So I think that's why people are saying it's harsh, because a lot of defenders do that and they get away with it. But when a penalty gets given, a penalty gets given. Grayson Wright says, do you think Nigeria or Croatia could get a result against Argentina? I think Croatia can beat Argentina. I think Nigeria is always going to struggle to score goals. Then again, against Argentina, Iceland didn't have a problem. Croatia on the attack again here. Another corner. Let's just have a quick look at the fixtures, actually, because from this group, I'm not 100% sure who plays who next, because that is going to be the key in this group. Argentina play Croatia next. So Nigeria play Iceland. That'll be a massive game. Nigeria-Iceland on Friday at 4 o'clock is massive. And Argentina-Croatia on Thursday at 7 o'clock is also massive. Rahul says, what are your thoughts on VAR? He's asking me, but I want to know everybody else as well. My thoughts on VAR are that decision in the Peru game was right. He reviewed it and there was a connection and it was a penalty. But my personal opinion, and I've been saying this because we've had it a lot in the Premier League, we had it in the FA Cup. My issue with VAR is I'd rather they just made the mistake. I'd rather be on my way to work the next day talking to my mates about it, saying, I should have given that penalty, than have situations where they don't give it, but then they check and go, I will give it. I don't like that. I'd rather keep the human error in it because I think it creates debate, it creates chat. Perisic, not such a good cross there. Jared says that VAR spoils the fun of football. Carl says with VAR out, you've got to defend with an apron and a feather duster. It'll mean more goals, won't it? And bring back the days of Okocha, Finidi George and Kanu. Now that was a decent Nigeria side, says Ben Johnson. Scrap it now, says Chris Varley, or we can kiss goodbye to football. I think they do try to change football too much. They're always trying to find something new. And realistically, football's been the number one sport for years, for decades. If it's not broken, why fix it? And I think they're always trying to find something else. I remember a few years ago they were on about scrapping throw-ins for kicks. And you don't need to do that if you're Iceland, because they can throw it as far as a kick anyway. But why? Why do it? And Douglas is right. It does slow the game down a little bit. Sam Lee says this is a boring game. I disagree. I suppose you've got different opinions on football, haven't you? Here's Rebic. Good little player he is. Final ball's a bit missing. Brian says that VAR will cause a rise in penalties being given. Ooh, I wonder what the record is for penalties to be given, because how many have we had in this tournament so far? I'm trying to think how many penalties we've had. We had 3 today, 4 today. Nearly won a game, innit? I'm doing the Sweden game on Monday, Will. 1 o'clock kickoff. I'm doing that. I'm doing the next 2 1 o'clocks. So I'm doing Serbia tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and I'm doing Sweden on Monday. And I'm definitely doing Brazil tomorrow night. So if you are new to That's Football, let us know in the live comments. Introduce yourself if you want to. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Get involved with the channel. We're getting very close to 35,000 subscribers. So please do share it and subscribe and get involved. And just remember, every single World Cup game, come to That's Football on YouTube. We've got a watch along. Get involved in the chat. Join in. Watch the game. Watch the watch along. And have a good old laugh. It's good fun. 6 penalties so far. 2 have been missed, says Mark Atherton. So 6 penalties. And we've had... How many games have we had? 4 today. 3 yesterday. 8. 6 penalties, 8 games. David says, do you think Iceland will reach the last 16? Well, they've only got a point at the moment, and if Nigeria were to beat them in the next game, Nigeria would leapfrog them, even though they're going to lose today. So it's not over for Nigeria. It looks like they're going to lose, but it's not over in the group, because beat Iceland, and then depending on what Croatia and Nigeria do, it could make it quite interesting for that last game. Matthias says, hello, I'm Matthias. I'm from Brazil. I always watch the United Stand shows, but hardly ever get to watch you live. Hello, Matthias. If anybody is a United Stand regular, remember all our 8 o'clock shows are moving to 9 o'clock for the next 2 weeks because of the World Cup. There's no point in us doing the 8 o'clock show when it falls smack in the middle of the World Cup 7 o'clock game. So we've shoved it back to 9 o'clock. So Sunday Night Live tomorrow is going to be at 9 o'clock on the United Stand. And I did do a video earlier on at 7 o'clock for anybody who wants to get involved in that and watch it after this. But Croatia on the attack here. Perisic down the left-hand side. Oh, it was a decent cross. Keeper kept just about got there. DWR Music says 2 teams for the final. Everybody else, leave your comment in there. Who do you think the 2 teams in the final are going to be? I'm going to reserve judgment until I've seen everybody play. I think you can start saying teams like France, but then you see, don't you? Sam Howe says, show tonight, Mark. I already did it, 7 o'clock. United Stand. I've done it at 7 o'clock. Because this was an 8 o'clock kickoff, you see, so it would have been 10 o'clock, so I just did it at 7. But tomorrow it'll be 9 o'clock. Clay Buzz says this is going to be a good win for Croatia. Louise says she's enjoyed the game. I've enjoyed the game. I haven't found it boring. I think what we've had here is 2 similar teams going head to head, and a bit like Peru-Denmark, really. And Croatia have come out on top because they've been more clinical. Danny Kirsch says it's going to be a surprise final. I hope so. Be so good for football if a team won this World Cup that's never won it before. It would be brilliant. Although JP Morning says Brazil-Germany final. The show I did tonight, Sam, was on about De Gea, who's apparently not signed a contract. It's a lie. Ronaldo, Koulibaly, 5-player deal with Juventus, which involves 2 players coming out, 3 coming in. What Pogba said about United after the Australia game. So quite a lot of things. Just go to the United Stand after here and give it a watch. Nigeria in the box, cut back and cleared. Portugal. I'd like Portugal to win it. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you. There's a bit of a stoppage here. Still got 10 minutes left. Well, still 10 minutes left, so we've still got a long time to chat. But thanks everyone for tuning in. If you've watched all the streams today, fair play to you. If you haven't, what a bunch of letdowns. But no, in all seriousness, if you managed to got 4 games in today, I can only applaud you. I only got 3 in. I couldn't watch the France game because I was driving, so I had it on the radio. But what am I eating? Little round bits of chocolate, Cadbury's, but it's got caramel in the middle. I was just handed them as a little snack. What was I going to say? Tomorrow, I think, was the day I was looking at in the first few days that I thought, whoa, I'll have some of that. I'll have some of that because Serbia, I'm very excited to watch. I really like the look of Milinkovic-Savic for obvious reasons, but I also think as a team, Serbia are going to be very interesting, a bit like Croatia. Germany, Mexico, I've always loved Mexico. Really like them. Haven't watched a lot of them. Don't know how good they are at the moment, but Hervin Lozano could be a breakout star. Been on about him for 2 years. Germany, obviously one of the favourites. And then Brazil, Switzerland at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So make sure you're watching tomorrow. Highlights tonight. I'm looking forward to watching them as well. So many good games. To be honest, I'd love to just watch that Portugal-Spain game on a highlights package again. It was so good. But we've still got 10 minutes left. Nigeria. So just remember, subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. But if you're watching a World Cup game, we'll be live. So don't worry about notifications because YouTube doesn't always send them out. We will be live. Chicharito is in the squad, Phil. Now Perisic has gone down with a bang on the head. Caught an elbow. You know, out the corner of my eye then, there's a couple of kids on the telly going like that. I thought they were doing something else. Jay the Red Devil thinks Belgium are going all the way to the final. I think that's very brave to even think it. Very brave. Feel sorry for Nigeria. Obviously got very good... I tell you what though, Nigeria at Wembley played England off the park in the second half. So all this optimism around England, I always reserve judgment until you've actually seen it, because England always let you down. Who scored for Croatia, Mark? Modric scored a penalty, and that lad, number 8, Etobu, scored an own goal for the first one. We're 6 subscribers away from 34,900. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, bottom right hand corner, click it and get involved with That's Football. 3 games tomorrow. Serbia from 1 o'clock UK time, 4 o'clock Germany, Mexico, and then Brazil in... oh, let it go! You bloody idiot. Why didn't you shout? That's technique for you then. Decent footballers, cut back. There's a number 8's running through to hit it for Nigeria, but the player close to it tries to do something with it. All it takes is a little shout. All it took was a little shout. Another block from a Moses shot. I don't understand what else do you think they were doing. Quiz on my face. I'm English and I'm salty on that crap Southgate team. When you're doing the next World Cup challenge, says Richard W. Smith. Oh, I don't know, mate. I can't see where I'm going to get time to do that now the World Cup started. I was doing World Cup challenges on FIFA 18 on my channel, which is the Goldbridge livestream channel. But they take about an hour and a half to do. Well, sometimes it doesn't if I get knocked out. But I don't see where I'm going to get the time to do it. I'll tell you what I am noticing the watch along. I'm noticing them people who leave the game early. You know, like those people who leave to go and get the train or get the car, and they'll miss the last 5 minutes of a match. The watch along's a little bit like that. We had 900 people watching. We're down to 675 now because people are going, oh, it's over. Not waiting until the end. There could be a worldie in this. All right, it might not make any difference. It could go 3-0. It could go 2-1. But you might see one. You might be about to witness one of the best goals in the world. It could happen. Yellow card there for a Croatian. Brozovic, Inter Milan. I don't want this to be another goal anyway, because on Super Brew I said 2-0. World Cup predictor that we're doing, I went 2-0. So if it stays 2-0, I get 3 points. Nigeria will probably get a goal now because I was being smug. Should have dived then. Moses. Jay the Red Devil said 2-1. Lucas Carr. I don't think Rashford will start the first game. I don't think he's in the first team plans. I think it will be Sterling and Kane. But I certainly think he'll be the go-to man to come on. Perisic. He's not got the pace to get that. So we're into the 90th minute. 4 minutes added on. Could be another goal. Kian Gerahi says, I expected a little bit more from Nigeria and always thought Croatia would win this group. I think Croatia will give them... I tell you what, I think Argentina will have problems against Croatia. Because the one thing I would say about Croatia is strong at the back, strong in the midfield, strong up front. And I mean strong. So... Senegal are dark horses, says Ian Mark. Looking forward to seeing Senegal. I think Senegal are the best African team. Koulibaly, Idrissa Gueye, Mane. Manchester United is my city, says Argentina will crash out. You know what, though? It depends what you sort of football, how much you follow football. And because if Argentina went out in the group stage, it wouldn't actually be such a shock because they only just qualified. They only just qualified anyway. They very nearly went out with 2 games left to go in the qualifying stage, and it's a long qualifying stage. This could be 3. Oh, why didn't he pass to Perisic there? Kovacic. All he had to do was square it. He's running into the box from the right-hand side. If he passes that across, Perisic has got a tap in, and it would have been 3-0. I'm glad it's not 3-0 because I've got 2-0 as my predicted score, but he should have done. Baron Death just called Brozovic very selfish, which he is. Watch out for Kate Baldy in Senegal. He's going to have a good World Cup, says Anthony Muller. As does Prince Fresh. Kingdom FX said 4-0 to Croatia. That's brave. This is looking like a 2-0. This is looking like a 2-0. It was Kovacic, I think, who ran through and had that chance. Bahani says Nigeria are disgraceful to their kit. Well, they're not wearing their kit today, are they? That's the thing. They're not wearing the right kit. So we're nearly done. We're nearly done for another game. All I'm going to do is yet again say thanks everybody for watching, not just for tonight, but for all the streams. We've done 4 today. 2 from me, 2 from Xander. But the reality is, as I keep telling you, without you lot, it's nothing. So thanks everybody who's got involved. 1 o'clock tomorrow UK time. So we're coming up for 10 o'clock. 15 hours time, we're going to be live with Serbia. Milinkovic-Savic watch. Croatia have won this one 2-0. Comfortable in some ways. Nigeria just need to sort something out in that final third. I think Nigeria-Iceland's the next game, and that's key. Nigeria are going to have to do something in that. It'd be interesting to see how Iceland approach that, because Iceland like to sit back and soak it up. So that's going to be an interesting game. Croatia-Argentina. I think Croatia can give Argentina a game. So loads and loads to discuss and digest over that. Lucas Carr says it's time to watch the United Stand now. If you didn't watch the United Stand earlier on, we did a video at 7 o'clock, which is basically a half-an-hour video covering every little bit of Manchester United transfer news over the last that's been going on today, whilst we've all been watching World Cup games. So there's quite a few interesting things we've pulled from Spain, Italy, France and England, pulled it all together into one show. So United Stand, get over there and give it a watch. Thanks everyone for watching this show, and back tomorrow. That's football, Serbia, 1 o'clock. I'll see you there. Don't worry about notifications, just get on here at 1 o'clock, and we'll reconvene then for 3 cracking games tomorrow. Thanks all for watching. Get yourself on the United Stand and watch the latest United news. I'll speak to you all soon.